It's time to check out section number 5, separation by solid agents. And this is an interesting part on separation technologies because now we're going to be focusing on this type of solid materials that are going to help us to make separations but are not going to be actually involved in the separation per se. Okay? So the main processes that we're going to cover, which are the most common ones, are adsorption columns, ion exchange columns, and chromatography or chromatographers. Now, a very quick overview. In adsorption columns, we're going to start studying what's adsorption as the physical or chemical process, the main difference between absorption and adsorption. I know it's pretty similar. I don't like those Latin prefixes, ab, they sound very similar, but anyways, when you see it written, it's easier to make the difference. And we're going to study also what's adsorbent material, what makes a material a good adsorbent, why do we need them, why are they so precious, how and where do we find them in nature, and how can they be produced synthetically. Then we're going to start to understand the actual concept of adsorption, which, as you can imagine, is not a continuous process. So we're going to start studying these cycles and recovery of the adsorbents so we can make a continuous process in the industry. Then we get to ion exchange, which is pretty similar. So you can imagine there will be some electrodes which exchange ions. Of course, we're going to exploit this material. We want to get the ions we want and we want to reject the ions we don't want. And then chromatography. I'm pretty sure, guys, that you have heard about it, maybe even done some lab practices. I personally did the paper chromatography, and the main idea was to separate these little drops of colorant or dye that went into hexane, and then you will put this little paper and you will see how this dye will be separating. Well, that's the very basics. You can see how the material separates, but try to imagine as an industrial process how chromatography can separate that type of material. Okay guys, so for now, section 5, let's check it out. I'll see you soon.